Morning, beeps. Good morning, everyone. How's everyone doing? Hopefully, you guys are all doing well. Don't forget, if you're new to the channel, like, share, subscribe. This time, the mic is on. My voice is a bit better. So let's do a proper examination of what we saw on Friday. Or should I say Saturday morning? That was ridiculous, by the way. For a fight card to go on and on and on like that, it's too much. Even for the UK audience, it must have been, what, a 1 a.m. AJ ring walk? Which is it's too much. All right, let's talk about the big man, Anthony Joshua. Let's get straight to it. I think he's back. And I think he's back. In fact, I think he's actually better than he's ever been. I really do. Some people might scoff at that and say, well, 1 second, he's not better than he was when he fought Vladimir Klitschko. I think he is. I think he had always had just the natural ability, that kind of raw strength, right? Just brute force to walk through people. But just watching him from a boxing standpoint, I think he's actually a better boxer than he was 5-6 years ago. And I think that sometimes comes with defeat. I think once you lose, right, you kind of have to work on other bits. It's almost like punchers, right? In the history of boxing, like punchers, if they don't get their prey, if you like, out of there in the first 5 or 6 rounds, you almost can see the panic in their eyes because they are used to knocking people out just like that. Edgar Berlanga is a good example. Obviously, he's not one of the best boxers of all time, but you look at him. This is a guy that's so used to knocking people out in the first round. When it went beyond that, it was like, fuck me, what do we do? And eventually, now he started to work out what to do. And I felt like AJ before was this wrecking machine that would destroy everyone. And where was plan B or C or D? Because he didn't need to know what plan B or C or D was. Whereas now, he does. He needs to know now. So I feel like he's just added things to his game. Like I watched the way in which he sets his shots up, and I think it's fantastic. Someone broke down, and look, I get it. It was Ngannou before everyone says that. They calm down. But someone broke down how he was setting his shots up with Ngannou, the feints, even when Ngannou switched to southpaw, which I thought was a silly idea. Bear in mind, AJ has just fought the best southpaw out there in the heavyweight division in Alexander Usyk. So AJ was like, okay, you're switching to something that I've been preparing for 2 years. This is easy work. And AJ was able to land that straight right hand down the pipe as soon as Ngannou switched to southpaw. But AJ looks like he's doing everything, I think, a bit better. He's not overthinking, and he's now committing to the shots. There's a kind of a conversation as to when a boxer's coming to the end, what do they lose, right? A lot of people say they lose their punch resistance. They may be overthinking things. I almost feel like I've seen some of the best boxers not want to commit. And when I see that, that's when I kind of think, okay, they're kind of coming to the end. Vladimir Klitschko did it against Tyson Fury a lot. There were openings there. I remember that fight like it was yesterday. There were openings there, and I'm like, okay, Vladimir's going to get him now. He's going to nail him with that right hand. And Vladimir got into position, but was almost scared to throw because he was fearful of what was going to come back. Shane Mosley, another one who got very jittery towards the end of his career, and you almost felt like throw, and he just couldn't let his hands go. And I thought AJ was getting to that point as well. I remember watching AJ against Jermaine Franklin, and I saw openings. I was ringside, and I saw openings. I was like, go on, AJ, go on, commit. And he just wouldn't throw. I was like, what's going on? And then the same thing happened with Helenius. Eventually, obviously, he landed the big right hand and got to Helenius. But there were spots in that fight where I was like, he's just not committing to his shots. And that's when I started to have doubts of, okay, maybe AJ isn't going to get back to what he once was. Maybe that's just how it is now, where he is very, very cautious. But now, I think we've seen it in the last 2 fights. I don't know what Ben Davison and Lee Wiley have unlocked, but now we're seeing an AJ who, when the opportunity's there, he goes for it. He goes for it. And that's why I say AJ is back. And maybe even back's the wrong word, but I think better than ever now, because he knows what his problems are, if you like, right? He knows where he needs to improve on. And A, he's making those improvements. And B, he's now committing to his shots. I love it. I love it. And I think we saw this. Boxers will always, especially if a boxer has a long career, over 10 plus years, you're going to have to make adjustments. You're going to have to. You can't go into the ring the same as you were 9, 10 years. It's just impossible because fighters get smart and they start to read you and work things out. It's just impossible. That's why you see so many iterations of different fighters. I mean, Floyd's the obvious one, right? Pretty Boy Floyd was completely different from Money Floyd. Completely different. Pretty Boy Floyd, fast, explosive, willing to commit, whereas sort of Money Floyd was very on the back foot, would commit when he needed to do, but realized maybe I don't have the engine to kind of do what I did when I was a kid. It's just, you've got to change. And I feel like we're seeing an AJ now that's evolving. It's evolving. And look, obviously, I'm the biggest AJ fan probably there is. But I also will critique as well when I feel like I'm concerned for him. But now I feel very confident. And I feel very confident AJ going in there with any heavyweight. Any. I'm not joking, any. Usyk, Trilogy, Fury, a lot of people talking about a Joseph Parker rematch, Hrgovic. He'll bury Hrgovic. I'm like, I swear, because I don't see the Hrgovic thing that people see. Zhang, I'm confident AJ is just too fast on his feet for Zhang and can hit as hard as Zhang as well. So look, I'm excited as to this next chapter of AJ. What is he, 33, 34? Obviously stays in incredible shape. And that was good to see yesterday as well. Sunday today, Friday. That was good to see 2 heavyweights in shape. Sometimes that's all you got to ask for, right? I mean, ability is one thing. Just fucking come to the ring in shape. And I think we saw 2 guys, and I'll add Joseph Parker to that as well. 3 guys that when they hit the scales, in incredible shape. And that comes from activity. That comes from just knowing that you need to tick every single box. And I think a lot of these top guys now are doing it. But yeah, very excited for what is next with AJ. I'd love to see the Fury fight. Love to see it. I'm not one of those. I'm not going to just jump to conclusions here and say AJ destroys Fury just because Fury didn't get rid of Ngannou and AJ did. Boxing does not work like that. It ain't the case. I think we saw it right on the weekend with Joseph Parker and Zhang. I mean, going by that logic, Joe Joyce beat Parker, Zhang beat Joe Joyce, Zhang should beat Parker. Doesn't work like that. It's styles. So I'm not going to say, Fury loses to AJ just because AJ knocked Ngannou out and Fury couldn't. Styles. And maybe both of these guys have styles that will be problems for each other. But that's the one I hope happens. Obviously, there is a certain Ukrainian that will have a difference of opinion going into May 18th. But I, as much as I love Usyk, I do want Fury to beat him because I do need to see Fury AJ. And I think AJ needs to see it as well. Very unlucky that he didn't get the Wilder fight. This would have happened. By the way, I think what happened to Ngannou would happen to Wilder. I really do. Just my opinion. So AJ needs to fight. Like, Usyk's new to this era, right, of heavyweights. The AJ needs, before it's all done, to have fought Wilder and Fury. Wilder might not happen. And I'm nervous if Usyk beats Fury, Fury won't happen. So that's why I'm hoping that Fury gets the job done. But what do you guys make of AJ 2.0? I'm very excited by it. Honestly, I think he looks really good. I think his jab is ramrodded. It's not even a jab. It's a power punch. It's a power punch. It really is. But I think he looks really good. I really do. How unlucky was Nick Ball, by the way? I know I touched on it yesterday. We didn't really kind of go into it that deeply. How unlucky was he? Like, he beat Ray Vargas. He did. And Ray Vargas kept saying, like, I came to Nick Ball's backyard. And in my head, I was like, don't correct him. It's rude. But I thought, fuck, I've got to correct you, dude. Like, this isn't Nick Ball's backyard. I thought, I kind of understood what he meant, but I'm not having it because it's not like he was trying to speak English. He had a translator there, so he just got it wrong. He completely got it wrong. Obviously, what he's trying to say is that this was Nick Ball's promotion or something that put this on. I think that's what he was trying to say, but he said it 3 or 4 times, and I was like, dude, this isn't his backyard. He's from Liverpool. If that fight was in Liverpool, I think Nick Ball's becoming a champion. But I still hope that we can get that Raymond Ford fight on. To be truthful, I'd like to see him face Ray Vargas again, because I think he does need that world title shot. But he wants to be on that June 1st card, and he'll probably get it. He'll probably get on that June 1st card. Did you see after, I think it was very respectful between Ngannou and AJ at the presser. I think they asked Ngannou about sort of, what do you remember about the knockout? And he said, I don't remember. that obviously is what a knockout is. I don't remember anything. And yeah, he was in a bad way after. I wanted to do the interview with both, but we had a floor manager in the ring, and I kind of went up to Ngannou. I don't know if you guys saw this, and was like, well done, congratulations. He didn't even know who I was, where he was. So I was like, no. I spoke to them, and I was like, because I know they were trying to get the interview, and I was like, dude, this guy literally just had oxygen 10 seconds ago. He could not do an interview. Like, no way. Even when AJ goes up to him, AJ's trying to speak to him, and you can see he still doesn't know where he is. But it was good to see him okay. His family you see them jump in the ring. Obviously, they've never seen him knocked down or knocked out. So for them, he's the one that does that to people. So they were like, what the hell's going on? And you can see, I think it was his mum and I think it was his aunt or sister that were crying ringside. And it's like, geez, man, boxing's, you think of the boxers, you never really think of sort of family members watching ringside about the kind of punishment these guys take, especially with the big boys. It's frightening. It really is. All right, should we go and see if there's any news on anything? You know what has come out recently in the last couple of days? That Ryan Garcia will fight Devin Haney. That fight is going to happen in, 5-6 weeks time. I have to say I'm very, very surprised by that. I don't know if this guy is... I certainly don't think he's playing with us, and I don't think it's promotional anymore. I did say this, I think last week, that I've been around Ryan. He's okay. I got it wrong. He's not okay. Like, health is more important than anything, and I don't think Ryan Garcia should be fighting April 21st. And look, there is a number of 140 pounders out there that Devin Haney can fight. You've got 5 weeks now to get someone. That's enough notice if you stay ready, right? Rather than get ready. And Ryan even himself could maybe go up to 147. Like, there's a lot that can happen. Maybe it won't be a pay-per-view event anymore, but there's a lot that can happen. So I just don't think Ryan should be fighting. I think Ryan needs to seek help, and he's young enough to bounce back and maybe have a fight back end of the year. But should he be going into a fight of this magnitude after what he's been showing us in the last couple of weeks? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. All right, anything else? That Canelo Munguia announcement is a good one. Obviously, it's not Canelo Benavidez, but Munguia is unbeaten. It's an all-Mexican showdown. And Munguia's put in some decent work of late. Obviously, the John Ryder one's the big one. Let's not forget he fought Derevyanchenko as well, who gave him hell, but he came through it. So it's not the worst. Like, obviously, I would have been very upset with Berlanga. I'm not upset with Munguia. Munguia will think he can run through Canelo. He's the fresher of the two, the younger. Certainly not the stronger of the two, but he looked good against John Ryder. Ryder, I think, spoke to Darren Barker and said, like, he just didn't kind of know what to do with Munguia. Like, Munguia was causing him all sorts of problems. So I like it. I like it a lot. I don't mind it at all. It will be split pay-per-view, I'm hearing. So DAZN will have the international rights as they kind of doing these things. And I'm guessing Amazon Prime will have sort of the South American market. But as long as we're there, man, I just want to be at these events, honestly. Whoever gets it, gets it. Joseph Parker rematch with Zhili Zhang. I just don't like the idea of this. Like, the fight was okay for 4 rounds, then it became quite boring, didn't it? So, but the thing, I guess, for Joseph Parker is, I mean, the top 3 now all occupied, and that's kind of where he wants to go. But I mean, you got past Zhili Zhang. You don't need to do it again. There didn't need to be a rematch here. I know there was a fringe international belt on the line. It wasn't like there's a full title. If there's a full title, I get it. But a semi-title, why do we need to do it again? Really and truly at this stage, we want to see Joseph Parker versus Hrgovic, maybe. I mean, that's one that's out there, right? So, yeah, I just don't know. I don't think there's any appetite for it. And if there is an appetite, it really shouldn't happen. We spoke about this briefly, the Crawford Eubank. Once we get a bit more information, we'll kind of do a deep dive into it. Again, I know the person that's putting this fight on, and it's real, it's legit. This isn't just like, when an announcement like that comes from nowhere, then you kind of feel, okay, this is there must be something into it, right? There's no smoke without fire type saying. So yeah, they want to do it. I mean, Chris wants to do it. Chris probably looks at Crawford as, why not, right? I mean, a pound for pounder. The big money fight for him. Sorry, pound for pound number 1, big money fight. And he'll look at it and think, you're too small. You're too small. But we'll see. The problem for Chris is Bomac. Chris is coming off maybe a career best win, and he had Bomac in his corner. Bomac obviously is Terence Crawford's guy, so Chris is going to have to find a new trainer again. So, I don't know. All right. Is there anything else? I think that's it. I'm going to do a video tomorrow, maybe today, tonight, talking about what next for Mr. Francis, the Predator Ngannou. Is it a return to MMA? Do we have any appetite for seeing him in with a Wilder, maybe? There has been some talks of that. Or is that? If I'm Wilder, I will jump at that fight right now. And if I'm Ngannou, I mean, wow. I mean, you're basically fighting this best era of heavyweights. So if I'm Ngannou, if Turki Al-Sheikh seems or deems that fight worthy of the pay that both of those guys will want, then we might see it, right? We could potentially see it on, I mean, the AJ Fury Usyk undercard. Jeez. Anyway, guys, girls, peace.